The Roommate, an absolutely gripping psychological thriller with a huge twist, by Caroline Macon Fleischer, narrated by Aurelia Etienne. For my roommates, Andy and Augie. Chapter 1. California. They arrived in Topanga on a cool October morning. Donna rode in the passenger seat and her mom Addie drove, the redwoods passing slower and slower until the creaky old U-Haul finally came to a stop. Donna clutched her Polaroid and stared eagerly out the window. There was her new house, a turquoise bungalow of all things, tucked away in a neighborhood that seemed sparse but friendly enough. Donna stuffed her hair into a ponytail and got out of the truck. Feeling stiff at the end of the long trip, she stretched her calves while she eyed the house. It was almost impossible to wrap her brain around the fact that this place was hers. It was a gift she never expected, but had come just when she needed it most. At 25, Donna had been busy wondering what the point of her life was. Then the promise for a better future came, written in the deed to her elusive grandmother Rudy's West Coast home. Addie squeezed Donna tight and let out a squeal. Compared to most Chicago houses, the place seemed enormous. It was built of turquoise-painted hardwood, with tiny patches of moss peeking through the slats. A hand-laid stone path led the way from the street to the front porch, hedges of tall grass bordering the walkway. 2 old flower boxes hung from the front windows. From them, a lazy and dry-looking assortment of petunias and ivy swung lightly in the wind. In the front yard, there was a patchwork of 3x3 raised garden beds. The plots were overgrown. No one had tended to them in a while. Donna couldn't wait to get her hands in the dirt. Gardening was a hobby she always wanted to try, but had never had a crack at. In each of the beds, there was greenery that signaled hope. A proud and confident tomato plant stood alone in one. It looked stubborn, ruthless. Donna loved it and took a photo of it with her Polaroid. The front door of the house was painted a nice dusty blue. The doorknob was a glistening shade of turquoise. It looked crystal, almost. The porch was true hardwood, so dark it was almost black. Rudy had left a set of furniture on the front porch. 1 tiny table and 1 tiny chair, and a little turquoise ashtray. The setup was perfect for a single woman. On the ground lay an abandoned pair of Rudy's slippers. Donna's stomach turned when she saw them collecting moisture and dirt. She thought of a postcard Rudy sent her for Christmas one year, a photograph overlooking Topanga's twinkle-lit homes. Donna must have thrown it away at some point, unaware of its future significance. Postcards, slippers, these were the things of being human, things that people eventually leave behind when they die. Addie lit a cigarette and plopped down in the chair. Letting her rest, Donna grabbed the slippers and went to investigate the back garden. As she got farther along the side of the house, the sun began to beat down harder. Sweat tingled on her scalp. The back gate was closed, but Donna looked in through panels of the fence. The backyard was almost barren, which she found a bit bizarre. She was curious, with the limited knowledge of gardening she did have, why the garden boxes were in front and not out back, where the light was much stronger. She made it to the alley and tossed the slippers carelessly into the can. She wanted to make a moment of it, but felt it was too sentimental. The house was her new start or whatever, and she didn't want to kill the mood with some kind of funeral. She tended to lean into dark feelings. In California, she was determined to home in on the positive. But as she went back to join her mom, one more thing struck her as unusual. It was the casual aesthetic of the bungalow's side door. It looked strange, as though it didn't belong to the house. It was a cheap knockoff wood, unfinished, and purchased from somewhere like IKEA. The color was light and tacky. The windows were fingerprinted. The knob was drab. Donna wondered why her grandmother would take such care with the turquoise knob on the front door and not match it with the side knob. "Hey, Mom," she called. "Mom!" She didn't hear an answer. She circled to the front and found Addie up from her seat, moving a few boxes from the truck to the porch. "Ready to see the inside?" Addie asked. "I didn't want to go in without you." Donna turned the crystal turquoise doorknob, and they entered the house. Something about the foyer instantly displeased her. She expected wafts of her grandmother's perfume, the feeling that everything was left in its proper place. Not only did everything seem slightly out of place, but the air smelled musty, like a college apartment, or a man cave, or just a plain cave. Donna couldn't decide. In any case, the foyer reeked of phony hospitality. The umbrella stand by the door was fuzzy with dust. The pampering mirror above the key bowl was fingerprinted. There were specks of mud on the tile floors. "Isn't it beautiful?" Addie cooed. "Oh, Donna, it's perfect for you." She sighed loudly. "I'm jealous." It really was beautiful, Donna thought, but mostly in its essence. The framework was strong and the ceilings were high. The space was entirely open, except for the bedrooms. The room was wide and neatly laid out, like the inside of a well-made snow globe. Knickknacks from her grandmother's travels decorated the counters. All the objects fit a certain theme that seemed to reflect Rudy's individuality. Rudy was stoic and particular, which her home reflected, but it also gave Donna a glimpse at her more colorful side. A wicker basket sat full of handheld gardening tools. The mosaic pots Rudy had artistically curated now harbored dying plants. But Donna could imagine the calm the room evoked when everything was alive. The walls were all different shades of turquoise. The cabinets were crisp and black. Donna spotted a matching teapot on the stove she couldn't wait to use. By the sofa, there was a well-rifled copy of an ABA journal. In the trash can, there was trash. It didn't smell like it had been there too long, thankfully, even though she knew it had. For some reason, the place, while boldly decorated, had a sense of gloominess, which suited Donna nicely. Above the wood fireplace sat a framed photo of Donna with her mother and father, a nuclear family that was so temporarily together. In the picture, they were at Chicago's Lincoln Park Zoo. It must have been taken in the mid-90s. Her father left them when Donna was only 5. Looking at a rare photo of her young self gave her the chills. She wondered what animals she saw that day, what they ate for lunch. Suddenly wanting a sense of ownership over her new space, she felt eager for her mother to leave. "I'm jealous," Addie repeated with a pout. "I guess we can start to bring in the stuff." It only took a few trips. The house was furnished after all, and Donna was starting life mostly from scratch. Before moving, she had taken a trip to the thrift store and found a knockoff Turkish rug, an old creaky box, and a gilded full-length mirror. The collection was Donna's haphazard attempt to add her own touches. On her grandmother's dresser top, she placed her Polaroid camera and Vaseline for her dry lips. With everything in its place, she swiftly changed from her daytime comfy clothes into her nighttime comfy clothes and inspected herself in the full-length mirror. Since college, she felt like nothing fit right. She sighed and ran her fingers along a row of stress pimples along her lower jaw. Her nails were untidy, her socks didn't match, and her brassy blonde shag fell exhaustedly around her bare face. Addie wanted to help her nest more, but Donna insisted she would settle in on her own later. The two opened a bottle of white and lay side by side in the great big master bed. Everyone in Chicago had begun referring to the house acquisition as Donna's new leaf.